Hey guys, it's Nami. Sorry I haven't posted a video in a while. I had a nasty cold that wouldn't go away, but it's gone now, so yeah. So today I want to talk about something I noticed a few days ago, and I'm not too happy about it. I know a lot of you guys really like my out-of-world videos, and it's gonna be a lot harder to make those now because Blizzard decided that you can't use Dark Moon Tigers and the Mushroom Chair in raids anymore, or dungeons. For those of you not familiar with my Out of World series or exploration videos in general, basically exploration is when you go in an instance and then you exit the playable area and go explore around it. For example, in the Obsidian Sanctum, the raid is basically just a big circle in the middle surrounded by mountains, but I used the mushroom chair to go over the mountains and explore everything on the outside because there is stuff on the outside for some reason. Usually they leave stuff in the background just so if you look in the distance from the raid or the dungeon, you won't see like nothingness. It will be like you see the zone around it. So that's why it's there, and you can go explore it if you find a way to get out of the playable area. And in QA terms, that's called going out of world, which is why I called my series Out of World. So basically my main tools for going out of world were the mushroom chair and the Dark Moon Tiger. And basically they let me bypass bad collision, because going out of world is basically just taking advantage of a collision bug and leaving the instance that way. Well, you're technically still in the instance, but you're not in the playable area. You're not meant to explore anything that's around it. So the reason I'm upset is because it's gonna be a lot harder to make out-of-world videos now. I mean, it's not impossible because there are some raids and dungeons that I explored without those items, like High Mall and Shadowfang Keep. But yeah, it's gonna take a lot of messing around to try to find another way to bypass collision. Maybe it's gonna take 2 people for most places instead of just 1. Maybe there's gonna be another toy that I can use that I haven't figured out how to use yet. But yeah, technically the mushroom chair was nerfed a while ago because back in Hellfire Citadel, some moron used the mushroom chair to go under the map and then skip some bosses that way. And that kind of ruins it for everyone else. I'm pretty sure that 99% of people who do exploration just do it for fun and not to cheat or anything like that. So I was pretty upset when they made the mushroom chair unusable in raids because of that one person who decided to skip bosses with it. But it still wasn't that bad because I could still use Dark Moon Tigers, which do the exact same thing. I just had to wait on the cooldown before using a second one instead of being able to use the chair and then Dark Moon Tiger. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. For some reason, they either forgot about the Dark Moon Tigers or they didn't care that much because it's not like a toy that you have on you all the time. Like you actually have to go to the Dark Moon Fair when it's up and get tickets and buy a bunch of them. So yeah. Either way, they were still usable in raids, and both the mushroom chair and the Dark Moon Tiger were untouched in dungeons. So it wasn't a problem at all for dungeons, only raids. And as of 7.1, everything was still working the same way. I was going around Emerald Nightmare and Halls of Valor a few weeks ago, and I found some collision that let me kind of exit, but it still wasn't enough to let me go all the way around. But I mean, I was working on it. So a few days ago I was in Nighthold, and after the raid, after everyone left, I was like, why don't I try to explore? So I was running around and I found a corner that looked promising, so I tried to use my Dark Moon Tiger, and it said, you can't use that right now. And I was like, what? I was like, am I in combat or something? I thought it was I don't know. I've had that kind of issue before where it says I'm in combat, but I'm not. But it wasn't saying I was in combat, but I thought it was weird because when I tried to use the mushroom chair, it specifically says like you can't use that in a raid instance. So I didn't even think about the fact that they nerfed it. So I tried to feign death, I tried to dismiss my pets, I tried to relog, and still I got the error that said, you can't do that right now. So, and then I was like, no, they didn't. So I left the instance and I tried using the Dark Moon Tiger and it worked right away, and I was like, fuck, really? So I was like, well, if it's just raids, it's not that bad, I can still explore all the dungeons. And then I was like, wait. So I went across to the Archway and I tried to use the Dark Moon Tiger and the Mushroom Chair, and they both give me the error. You can't do that right now. Ugh. Okay, so Blizzard decided that we can't explore anymore, basically, which is really upsetting. Now, I know some of you are gonna be like, well, you're exploiting bugs, like obviously they're gonna fix that, like you shouldn't be mad, like it's your own fault for doing that in the first place because you're not supposed to do that. But people have been doing exploration for years, like as long as WoW has been around pretty much. And Blizzard never seemed to care, so why now? Especially in dungeons, because why do they care if someone skips a boss or something in a dungeon, right? Well, my theory is that some group found a way to cheat in a Mythic Plus by skipping a huge part of the instance or something just so they would get 3 chests. And that's not cool. But what really sucks is that instead of fixing the faulty collision, because that's basically what it is, because you wouldn't be able to use the Mushroom Chair or a Dark Moon Tiger to bypass good collision. You have to find spots where the collision is weak so you can go through it. So the reason this upsets me so much is because where does this end? I mean, are they gonna nerf every toy just because someone finds a way to bypass collision with it? It just makes no sense to me, because I'm pretty sure that people who do exploration are like 1% of the player base, probably not even. So you have people like me that are like, well, fuck, now I can't explore. And then you have 99% of the player base that are like, well, what the hell, why can't I use my Dark Moon Tiger between poles anymore? It's supposed to be fun items, you should be able to use them everywhere. Like there's the Christmas cushions, like the Zebra cushion and Safari cushion, I think they're called. And you were never able to use them in instances since they were released. And I'm pretty sure it's because you can bypass collision with them. I've used them a few times to bypass collision out in the world, so I know they work the exact same way as the Mushroom Chair and the Dark Moon Tigers. I'm thinking that the Mushroom Chair is an item they forgot about when they decided to make the cushions unusable in instances, and same thing with the Dark Moon Tigers, I guess. And it's so dumb that there's some toys that you can't use just because some people cheated with them. Why don't they just fix the collision and ban the people that cheated? I don't know, it's just... I'm just ranting at this point. So I have one more out of world video that I recorded a while ago, but I still haven't finished editing it because those videos are like hours long. So anyways, I'm gonna be posting that video pretty soon, and then I don't know when I'm gonna be able to make more out of world videos because I can't use my tools anymore, so I guess I'll have to find other ways to go out of world. I'm just afraid that if I find another toy that works and Blizzard sees that, they're gonna nerf it. So yeah, I'm like pretty hesitant at this point. So I think I'm just gonna try and find ways to go out of world that don't require specific items like I did in High Mall and Shadowfang Keep. There's probably more too, but I don't remember. So yeah, that was my rant for today. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.